And welcome back to Just Wing It. And what do we have here? We have a blast from the past. We have a UMX, an E-flite type, one each, Carbon Cub SS. Okay, this plane is very, very old. This is a version 1. I'll talk to you a little bit about that as we go. So I want to get the flight in before the winds kick up. We're back out of here at Newberry Springs, my favorite little UMX haunt. And the plane's kind of so small that even the little tiny debris kind of makes it bounce a little bit. So we're going to go half flap. We're going to get this thing in the air. Let's stop yammering. Here we go. A little right rudder. Okay. Clean the flaps, half flap up, and away we go. All right. So what's this plane all about? This is the UMX Carbon Cub SS. This was one of the first true UMX planes by E-flite. And it had a 2-cell power system. This plane loves rudder in the turns, so just like a lot of Cubs do. Look at that, huh? So, in any event, let's go half flap. Let's bring in some lift devices here. All right, here we go. So, anyway, this plane likes, it also, by the way, doesn't like turning because of the undercambered wings, so you really got to be careful with the turns. So anyway, this plane was one of the first UMX planes that had flaps, had lights, had a 2-cell battery, AS3X, I mean, all the trimmings, all the fixings. This was a very nicely done plane. You can hear the AS3X in this plane a lot too, by the way. I also like this paint scheme. Anyway, I love buzzing myself with these things. It's kind of fun. So, what is this plane all about? Why is it a version 1? So, Horizon Hobbies E-flite, they had a little bit of a thing with these planes. There was no cooling originally in these planes. We're going to clean up the flaps and show you some basic aerobatics with it. And that's about all it's good for is basic aerobatics. So full throttle. There you go. Not bad. That's actually pretty nice. Pretty nice loop. But the plane did not have any cooling on the inside. So the bricks, ooh, you see that bump? The bricks tended to get a little warm. And Horizon had to address that. Plus, they had to address the fact that the servos had no cooling really on the wings. So they had to, version 2s were different from version 1s in that they had a cutout, like a half-moon shaped cutout on the windshield, and they cut little tiny slits on the wing servo covers, which has protective covers, which this plane does not have, which identifies it as a version 1. So this plane's very old. Again, likes rudder in the turns like all Cubs do. To correct for that adverse yaw, but generally does low and slow pretty nice, really does. Let's go full throttle. Let's bring it up. There we are. All right, nice little hammerhead. So it's got a 2,500 kV motor, which is a significantly smaller than the. We're down to 2 minutes. Significantly smaller than the Timber, which has a lot bigger motor to it. Okay, but flies on the same battery, flies on your design around the 2-cell 280. Let's see if we can do an aileron roll here. It doesn't really like to do aileron rolls. Yeah. Oh, let's go full flap as we come down. Now we're going to go half flap. Let's bring her back around. Okay, so not exactly an aerobatics powerhouse, I think because of the motor. But it does pretty good in the stall capability as far as, short takeoff, short landing. Let's try and put her down here without bouncing it. I've noticed with this plane I have a bit of a problem doing that. And I still get a little bit of a bounce no matter what, but hey. All right, so let's go ahead and bring her around. And we'll show you how she does stall, short takeoff anyways, huh? So, it's a good looking plane. I really dig this paint scheme. They did a great job on the paint scheme. It had 3 major faults that we can identify. First, you can clearly see there's no cutout in the windscreen, I think, in this angle. I hope you can. there was a half moon cutout right at the bottom where the windscreen meets the cowl. The wing servo covers are plastic, and they had to cut a little slit at the front part of the servo covers, right? So there's your version 2 identification. Half moon cutout of the canopy, because look at that greenhouse. See the light in there? It would get really hot. The control board could get really hot. So Horizon had to address that. Plus, the empennage is like really, really thin. I mean, look, you could shave with that. I mean, it's like paper thin. And you look at it cross-eyed and just it wrinkles. So they did a great job on some aspects of the model. Kind of missed the mark on others, but I understand they wanted to keep the model light, which explains why the foam is so thin on the empennage. But, and maybe that explains the undercambered wing. I don't know. Maybe they wanted it to be really have a lot of lift for a very slow speed, because that's what undercambered wings are all about. They're really designed for lift, but the problem is they don't like speed very much. So, anyway, let's show you a stole takeoff real quick. We're in half flap, little right rudder. She lifts right off, okay? So that's pretty darn cool, huh? All right, so let's bring her around. And let's try and put her down without bouncing her again. Oh! Not cool. All right. All right, let's go a full flap now. Let's try this again. Not bad. I mean, it's not the UMX timber. It is not, but it's okay. It's also very old technology. So hey, you know. So let's get her down here. All right, I'll take that. The baby is still in one piece. All right. Okay. So here we are. Had a little bit of a prop strike, but nothing major. Just a little bit of dirt. Make sure she spools up nice. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Great. Okay. Yeah, if you don't get her just right, it's just a little dirt. We just got a little bit of dirt on the prop. Nothing major. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to mess anything up on this because it's kind of a collector's item. So anyway, all right. So there we are. Bring up the flaps and reset the timer. Okay, good. Okay, so UMX Carbon Cub SS. We're out here at Newberry Springs, and we're showing you a blast from the past, a little bit of a relic, and it's not a bad relic. It really is kind of nice. So in any event, I hope you enjoyed this flight. I hope you enjoyed this demo of UMX from the past, of how it used to be. So in any event, great flying plane. I don't know if you can find these. You know, they may pop up here and there. Maybe estate sales, I don't know. But it's been a long time since this plane was discontinued. So to find one like this is very, very rare. So it doesn't happen very often in the RC hobby. So I hope you enjoyed this look back. Thanks for joining me out here at the dry lake. It's a beautiful day. There's no wind. Blue skies, happy landings, and all the best from Just Wing It. We're here at the field with the UMX E-flite Carbon Cub SS. Cheers, everyone.